The Silesia Diamond League did something unique this year. To motivate some of history's greatest athletes, and the 4 outdoor world record holders attending this meet, they were awarding $10,000 plus a $30,000 diamond encrusted gold ring to this meet's MVP, on top of the usual prize money as well. The MVP being whoever scored the highest performance based on the World Athletics point scale. So with this much money up for grabs, and looking at some of these marks, you'd really think it would be a battle between Krauser, Warholm, and Duplantis. They've all gone well past these marks before, multiple times even, yet somehow, Jakob Ingebrigtsen weaseled his way into the conversation, and Armand Duplantis. He showed us why he is the greatest, even amongst the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I just wait to see what they do. And I'll have my mom do the math and like look up the scoring table, and I can just go to whatever I need to go to get the things.
Record by 1 centimetre, Mondo Duplantis at 6:26.
But you know how it is. We have to start from the bottom. And for maybe the first time ever, the bottom is Grant Holloway, the man with a 10-year win streak, and has won every major gold medal in the last 4 years. He is one of those considered to be the GOAT of his event. Yet even the greats get some post-Olympic blues. As about half a week ago, he tasted his first defeat in 2024 out of 19 races. But just like that, he's back spring-loaded out of the blocks to a massive early lead, and barely holds off Broadbell by 1 millisecond in 13.04 seconds, and a measly 1,247 World Athletic points. The time's not stellar, considering he's run faster 8 times this season, but the win shows that Grant Holloway grit. Make that 19 out of 20 this season. Next in line was the men's 200. What was considered a mouth-watering showdown of the top 4 at this year's Olympics, minus Lyles, was a tad bit disappointing, and Alexander Ogando kinda stole the show. Benerick started strong, Tebogo and Knighton were caught snoozing out the blocks, while Ogando powered home just to get sniped by Tebogo's trademark finish. And honestly, mediocre time for him at this point, and a strained looking race by everyone. 19.83 seconds for a gain 1,247 World Athletic points. But that 1986 was a hefty national record for Ogando, and because of that, no one looks stoked except for him. And Anderson Emerald from the final league said it best. Ogando is on the cusp of a breakout, while Knighton enjoys watching Tebogo from behind. Focus on your own race. And the men's shot put straight up shit the bed. These guys spent too much energy throwing crazy early on in the season, because not only did Krauser lose, but all the boys struggled to get over 22 this meet. Kovacs takes the dub in the 5th round with a final throw of 22.14 meters, and that's just enough to edge out Grant Holloway and Tebogo with 1,249 World Athletic points. And considering the men's world record holder was in the shot put, the men's 100 meter actually scored higher even without the presence of the world leader or Olympic champ. And this race was straight up weird. I want you to look at this lineup and really think about the stereotypes attached to each athlete. You can't count on Kerley's consistency to save your life. Kashane Thompson is always injured. Omanyala can't run fast out of Kenya. Jacobs can't run fast outside of an Olympics. And Akeem Blake can't place in a fast race. This is quite literally the 100 meter misfit crew. And almost every single one of them broke the stereotype. Kerley manages to pull off a calm and collected clutch win in 9.87 seconds for 1,252 World Athletic points. Omanyala was barely inched out at 9.88, Akeem Blake placed 3rd at 9.89, and even Jacobs ran a sub 10 outside of an Olympics. But Kashane Thompson with the DNS. We don't know if he's injured yet. Pulling out with any reason, that fits the Kashane Thompson stereotype. And to be fair, the wind was kinda high, 1.9 meters per second. Next in line was the women's 400, and this was almost the Olympic final verbatim. 7 of the 8 finalists turned up to throw down in what could be considered the hypest revenge matchup of the meet.
Adeleke already up on Clava. Our Lady Paulino going hard. Adeleke will lead into this straight. She is so...
And it's the exact same finish as Paris, except slower, and Paulino wins by an even bigger margin. 48.66 seconds, 1,260 World Athletic points. You know, the talk that Sydney McLaughlin-Lebroni would dominate the 400 meter flat is kinda disrespectful. She might destroy almost everyone, but after Paulino's season, she would give her a bloody good run for her money, and she has in the past anyway. McLaughlin didn't switch because she was scared. Changed my mind. The Femke Bol redemption also continues, as she gets her revenge race against Anna Cockrell. Again, she was snuck up on early. She stays composed, running her own race, to leave them all behind on the straight in 52.18 seconds and 1,264 World Athletic points, slowly building that confidence back up. And now for what could be considered the real first world record attempt of the night. The Emmanuel Wanyonyi and Marco Arop matchup 2.0 in the men's 800 meter. But this time, it's just all Arop. By a little under a lap in, Wanyonyi was already looking strained and Arop was making a small gap. And this sat till about 300 meters left, where Arop began dropping the entire field to race for the world record alone. Inches behind the wave light on the final stretch, Arop slowly and painfully fades into a 1 minute 41.87 second time.
It's going to be super fast. 1:41.87, yet another meeting record
For 1,271 World Athletic points. It is not often you will hear the words fades into a 1:41. Undoubtedly, running back-to-back races so fast has got to be draining. And it clearly is, since everyone was back to running times you'd expect from pre-2024. Give these guys some time to freshen up a little for the Diamond League final, and it's game over. And now with the baby 1,200 point performances out of the way, we're on to the 1,300 plus performances, and there's only 2 of them. To have a chance at being MVP and taking home a delicious bonus, Ingebrigtsen would have to jump through some hoops. To get over 1,300 points, he would have to run a 4-second personal best minimum, break one of the most difficult world records in track that stood for 28 years, and do it in 31 degrees Celsius temperatures. These hoops may as well be 8 foot in the air and on fire, and somehow he goddamn did it. From the go, he was in the front main character style. With about 2.5 laps left, top runners were dropping like flies. And according to the splits, he had to finish the final 800 meters in 1:55 to take this record. A doable, but tall order. So instead, he comes home in 1:52, opening the gap so fierce you could fit a couple buses between him and Aragawi in second place.
0.67 is going to be smashed here by the Norwegian. It's a world record yet again for Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
He blew away this world record by over 3 seconds. 7 minutes, 17.55 seconds, eliminating Daniel Koeman's last standing world record for 1,320 World Athletic points. Ingebrigtsen borders on arrogance most of the time. But after this, even he was completely gobsmacked. He averaged just above 58 seconds per lap for 7.5 laps, en route to beating one of the most difficult world records in track, and even many of the greats agree. The 2,000 meter, 3,000 meter, and 2-mile world records are all now his. Jakob's strengths clearly lie in the longer middle distances, yet what he can do across such a wide variety of distances consistently is just beyond incredible. But like I said, Duplantis is the greatest amongst the greats. And besides the accolades, world records, and constant blowout domination, this piece of history today is just another line to add to his resume. Our first look at him was at 5.92 meters. And the height he makes this with is just alarming.
Heights, oh my word.
Then we get to 6 meters. And for anyone who actually watches him regularly, this 6 meter clearance may have been the easiest I've ever seen of his.
And it is. He just hovers over that. Almost time to look around and admire the view and salute a few spectators up there.
We're in for something big. So while his pole vault compatriots take about 30 minutes trying to get over 6:08, he opts to skip it and simply wait for his crack at 6.26 meters, a would-be world record. His first attempt, and it's basically a warm-up, shaking off the cobwebs, just remembering how to run. It's been 30 minutes after all. But on his second, Duplantis got this jump.
And then everyone let Kendricks have a go at a new American record. Here he goes to try and better his own world record by 1 centimetre. Mondo Duplantis at 6:26. Oh, and he does it! Another world record for Mondo Duplantis.
That's his 3rd world record this year, having attempted a world record at 10 competitions out of 13 in 2024. It's his career 10th world record, meaning he owns every single jump in the top 10 of all time, and all at 24 years old. So not only did he blow out the backs of his competition by 26 centimeters, absolute decimation by any metric, he did it in the most historically competitive pole vault competition ever. And how was it competitive when he destroyed everyone? because it's the only time 3 men have gotten over 6 meters in the same competition, with both USA's Kendricks and Greece's Kerley garnering 6 meter clearances too. Notably, it being Kerley' first time over 6 without a lick and celebrating like he broke the world record himself. I hope this reaction puts some perspective what going over 6 meters means for even the world's best. Duplantis has just truly spoiled us. And to really nail home how impressive owning the top 10 jumps of all time is, Sydney McLaughlin, who at this point is synonymous with the word GOAT, only holds 6 of the top 10 times in history. Imagine saying only 6. While the closest to Duplantis is Yulima Rojas with 8 out of the top 10 marks, which is incredible in her own right, because no one else even owns 7 of the top 10. So yeah, that's another 1 centimeter world record for 1,339 World Athletic points. Plus a slick 20 grand, a diamond encrusted golden MVP ring, and then 50 grand on top for breaking the world record. Armand Duplantis is the greatest of even the greats. Once he's done, only then will we realize how fantastic he was, because I guarantee, his final world record will become the longest standing world record of the future. It's funny, I see people talking about how what Duplantis does is easy comparatively to breaking other world records, since for instance, Koeman's world record was 28 years old. That's way harder. Load of shit. Not only is that race hardly ever run, it took 20 years for someone to break Bubka's previous pole vault world record once. Then it took 6 years for Duplantis to come along and break that. It's not his fault, he's just gone and done it another 9 times afterwards. Also about mid-editing, I realized, where the hell is Warholm? Dude nailed a 1,286 point performance. He's getting smoked by Duplantis in the 100 meters. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in Rome.